what it's like to be ugly and deformed. That's an interesting title that I just kind of came up with. I feel like I can talk about this. When I was, I think 6 or 7, I had these eye problems. Some kid who's older than me, one of my brother's friends actually, he was wrestling around, and I guess he sat on me, and that triggered some sort of thing. Like at that instant, all of a sudden I was like losing my vision in the left eye. So I was rushed to the hospital, and I had multiple operations, emergency operations to recover the vision in my left eye. And I think there were both 3 surgeries there at the age of 6 or 7 just to recover the eye. And anyway, the doctor couldn't recover the vision, so I lost all sight in my left eye. And this is at a very early age. So, and with all the surgeries and everything going on, it really had an effect on the shape of my eye. All of the different treatments and the invasive nature of what they had to do for the eye just to save it, save the integrity. It changed the shape of the eye. You'll notice in this video that it looks like it's misshapen, or the color of the iris doesn't match with my right eye. There's definitely something wrong there. It's not a natural looking eye anymore. So it's now, I guess, what you would call a deformity. I've never really thought of it that way, but for the sake of this video, and maybe for others who are deformed or feel ugly, I feel like this would be important to talk about, because this could help with maybe your confidence, and it could help with maybe any of the issues that you're going through in terms of physical appearance and whatnot. And I think there's a lot of people out there who are maybe conscious of it. So what does it feel like? Well, I can tell you this, all throughout elementary school, it doesn't really feel good knowing that you don't look the same as everyone else. That's the reality. You look at yourself in the mirror every single day, and it's hard not to notice the fact that your eye doesn't look the same as everyone else. Let's also add on the fact that I had these extra thick lenses for glasses at a very young age. I had these Coke bottle type glasses at a very, very young age because of my high prescription, very nearsighted. So that's compounding the issue. That's in addition to the fact that my eye looked like crap. So it's all very interesting that I had to deal with this at a very young age. And I didn't really know how to deal with this because I think when it was all said and done, after all the surgeries and missing school and whatnot to recover, I think I was like 7 or 8, and I'm still young. I don't really know what I'm doing or how to handle what people say, but other kids are wondering what I look like. And also there's a before and after effect. I looked normal before, and now I don't. So I shied away. I hid myself from participation among groups. I closed myself off from the real world because I was worried about what people would think. And you know what? I had people call me an alien. 4 Eyes is a common one. I mean, all the names you can think of, I was called those names. And it's not to the fault of the children. When you're young, when you're that age, you wonder why something doesn't look right, and you have a curiosity. You have this innate curiosity to question what is going on here. Hey, what happened? And it's not really ignorance. And I always looked at it as ignorance, like, those people are terrible, and it's their fault, and why are they saying those things? Well, they don't know. Like, they haven't gone through an abnormal situation, so maybe they don't understand. I can't say I hung around with too many physically deformed people at that age. People who had physical impairments that you could easily tell. I didn't really hang out with too many kids with those issues. A lot of the kids I hung out with, my friends at that age, they were all normal. They all appeared normal. Maybe some were obese, but that wasn't really put into question. All different shapes and sizes, that seems normal. But when your eyes don't look normal, well, that's when you get questioned. Or your glasses are super thick. Not too many people I know have thick glasses like these. There's very few people out there. I can't think of too many. And it's very few and far between. And the people who do have this nearsightedness issue are usually wearing contact lenses. Of course, I choose not to because I would have to wear it in my right eye. And it's my only eye that I have now with sight. So I'd rather not. Also, I think it would just make the deformity look even more obvious, because then people could really see my face. At least the glasses can mask a little bit of the issue. So I was pretty self-conscious at a young age. I didn't feel very good about this new appearance. And I was a skinny boy, always skinny, always high metabolism, and everything else seems pretty normal except the eyesight. And it's such a important physical attribute that people look at all the time that you get put into question as to why you look that way. And it has to do something to your psyche. That's the reality. If you have some physical limitation or physical appearance that's off, people are going to bring it up, and you're now thinking about it. Somebody brought it up, and now you're thinking about how you look. Every single time that somebody brings it up, oh, how are your eyes doing? Oh, what's going on with your eyes? It's like, and then if they stare at you and they really look at you and wonder what's going on with this guy, then you're really thinking about this disaster that's, to be honest, it's not really a disaster. These are projections that you're putting on yourself. This has nothing to do with anyone else. People are naturally curious, like I said, and it would make sense that they question something that's not right. And it's your response to say, hey, this is what happened, and this is who I am, and you know what? It doesn't really affect who I am. And if anything, it makes me even more appreciative of what I have, and it makes me more grateful for who I am. And if anything, any sort of deformity that you have is an asset, because you know how to deal with a struggle, you know how to deal with adversity, you know how to live and thrive in the world in spite of the fact that you don't fit in. And that's really something to be proud of. And I don't think I really realized all of that until much later on, until I actually started not worrying about my appearance. And that's probably only within the last few years. I'm 29 as of doing this video. So it's like all those years of self-torture and self-doubt just because I look a certain way. It's absolutely silly. And I grew up trying to mask the appearance. So in high school, I discovered that you can wear a prosthetic shell that can make your left eye look exactly the same as your right. Oh, well, now I can fit in. So I did. I got this shell, and it's like $3,000 to get this custom painted shell. It has all these little veins, so it uses the artist, I guess you can call, or the eye specialist person who paints these things. They use a porcelain material, and they use like a black dot for the pupil, and they use fabric threads for like these really fine fabric threads for the veins to match up the veins in your right eye. And then they also they use all these different, they have a color palette, and they sit there and they try to match what your right eye looks like to the shell. So they just paint and they match that color. So they have to do a lot of mixing to get that accurate color to match your other eye. It's highly custom. That's why it costs so much to get a custom shell. And you have to replace it every 3-4 years, depending on how often you wear it. But you take it out at night. I mean, in my case, I had to take it out. So I could only wear it at most 14 hours a day, kind of like a contact lens. But I found it easier to put in compared to a contact lens. I've tried contact lenses and I couldn't do it because my eye would get super red. But I figured with my left eye, doesn't really matter, right? Because I can't see out of it anyways. So I might as well wear a shell to match up the different vision. And also thinking, hey, by wearing a shell, I'm going to be so confident and the girls will like me and they'll be all over me. And that wasn't the case. So I started wearing the shell and I was still shy, still timid, and not really confident in myself, on who I looked like. And I realized that this is more for me than anyone else. People don't really care what you look like. And they're more interested in the kind of person you are. If you're a nice, good-hearted person, you've got your head on your shoulders, you hold yourself well, that's all that really matters. Nobody really cares what you look like. And when they ask about your appearance, it's because they're curious, not because they actually care that you look that way. And that's so important to realize. That they don't want you to change just because they ask a question. These people are naturally curious. And that's okay. You have to accept that. And you have to be willing to answer the questions and be okay with it. Because how you look is perfectly fine. So if you have any sort of deformity, I don't think it's that big of an issue. I don't think it's an issue at all. I don't think it should have any effect on your career. I don't think it should have any effect on your success in life. Now, I wore the shell all throughout corporate, and maybe thinking that other people cared about what I looked like, right? Thinking I have to wear the shell, otherwise people are not going to feel comfortable around me, and I don't want that. But the reality is, it's just you. You're just satisfying yourself. You're just trying to fit in. You're trying to fit into the mold. And how long are you going to keep living behind the wall? People can find out soon enough if there's an issue. The fact is the shell doesn't look 100% like my other eye. So it's not 100% accurate. So therefore, it's not really solving the issue. It's still not perfect. If I look to the left or look to the right, there's definitely something off. So people are just going to wonder anyways. So you know what? Why mask it? So you're short. Maybe you're 5 feet and you wish you were 6 feet and you think that's some sort of deformity. I'd say that's trivial. The reality is, so you're 5 feet. Just be confident in the fact that you're short. I don't think it really affects Tom Cruise, so I wouldn't really worry about anything like that. What other deformities? Maybe you have a speech deformity. There's a girl that I came across who had a speech deformity, and I thought it was rather cute. So some people actually appreciate and like the fact that you're not normal, that you don't fit in, and that you look different. Like, some people really like that. So, you know what? Go with it. Might be something that works for some people. So don't try to be less of who you are just because of some sort of physical limitation, because people want to hear what you have to say. People want you to just speak your mind, and don't let something like this affect your confidence, is what I'm realizing. And boy, it comes with experience. But there's somebody else that I came across who's maybe half my age, 13 or 14-year-old, who also had an issue. And she had the same issue with her left eye, in that she didn't look the same with the other eye. And you know what? She was not wearing a shell. And she knew all about it, and she's like, you know what? I'm pretty happy with the way I look. I'm like, hey, that's really awesome. Like, that's a really good outlook to have. And then there's this rapper that I came across who also doesn't wear a shell. And he's like, you know what? I'm also happy with the way I look. So there's this trend going on here. And it's this acceptance, self-acceptance. It's probably the most important thing, not what other people think. So I talk about deformities and ugliness, and this is all related to your inner beliefs. This has nothing to do with someone else. So I would say to start being happy with the things you can't control. You can't control how you look unless you can put some plastic surgery on there, and then maybe you could do it that way. Maybe the things you can't change, that are innately you might as well be content with it. Stop trying to change the things that can't really be changed. Once you get that over with, I mean, it's like a big relief off your shoulders. Like, hey, you know what? I'm feeling pretty good just being who I am. And that kind of confidence is really helpful in life, in the corporate world, and anywhere you go. It's just feeling confident in how you look. And I wish all those years I didn't let my appearance affect my participation in life. I can't tell you how many times I didn't get involved in things just because I was worried about other people. Like, that's not the best way to live your life. So if you're really young and maybe you're watching this, or maybe you're further along in life and you're still doubting the fact that you look a certain way, and you think that's affecting your career prospects or your success in life, well, I would say it has nothing to do with it. Because after everything, I managed to earn enough money to buy my own place. I worked in the corporate world. I was an executive. I've written all these books. There's so many different things I've accomplished. So I would say, if I can do it, I mean, you could totally do it. You can do anything that you want, no matter what your circumstances. That's really what I want to communicate today, is that there's some sort of adversity that you're battling, and I'd hate for you to not put out the work that you want to deep down just because of this. So hopefully this will maybe inspire you to get started and just give it a try. See what you can put out there. And channel it. This is your story. Like, this is your story. This is who you are. You might as well just rock it, right? You might as well be like, hey, I'm this kind of person, and I'm freaking excited about it. You might as well just rock it. and tell people about it. Actually, I don't really tell too many people about the whole eye issue, but since not really wearing the shell as often, maybe occasionally I will, just to get past the surface level conversations, I might wear the shell, but most of the time I won't, because I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about the situation that I'm in. So, yeah. Okay, that's it. Till next time. Toodles.